Hello and good afternoon. My name is Ofir, and I hunt wildlife traffickers. I'm the founder of Eagle, a community of activists in the forefront of fighting wildlife crime in Africa. Every day we have one major wildlife trafficker arrested and put in prison. And I want to share with you my journey to this adventure, to this cause, and ask you to take part of it. I think that animals have the power to transform us. They touch our hearts, they light passion in us. Sometimes they can even make us better human beings. And this is the animal that transformed me, a baby chimp named Kita. I rescued her and managed to get her trafficker into jail. In fact, her trafficker got the honor to become the first ever trafficker to get to jail in all of Central and West Africa. So I became a father and mother to Kita, and every baby chimp is special. And Kita was special in that she loved tickling. So every morning she would drag me by the hand and take me to bed and throw herself to bed to be tickled. And chimps have a special laugh, and you can listen to her special laugh, like. And when I had enough of it, and Kita would never have enough of tickling, I would try to go. Kita would always grab me by the hand and take me back to bed again to get more tickling. And since Kita never had enough, that would go every morning for 7 or 8 times until I had enough. Listen to her laugh. And if I made the error of waking up too late, and Kita would wake up before me, she would run to the kitchen and try to make her own feeding bottle. So she would open the baby milk powder and scoop it out and try to put it inside the bottle and shake it up and put some water in it and make one big mess out of my kitchen. Here she's asking for food. And when Kita was not on my back, she was playing with neighbors' kids or maybe harassing their dog. She always loved to run after the dog and catch him by the tail. And little Nicole here, she was coming to me so many times crying, saying that Kita was stealing one of her toys. And then I would have to go and try to convince Kita to give back the toy and give it to Nicole and make peace between both to be friends again. And that was my life, and this was the animal that transformed me. But the story begins a little bit earlier in the rainforests of Central Africa. As I arrived in Cameroon, in Central Africa, I was already an adventurer turning into an activist. I was just roaming the continent, trying to make a small difference. And I was touched by these creatures, and I wanted to write about the extinction of great apes. I went after, as a journalist, and I went after the words of Jane Goodall that in 20 years we're going to lose these magnificent creatures because of the illegal trade in their meat and their babies. The meat is considered, ape meat is considered something exclusive, like a status symbol, sort of like the caviar of Central Africa. And I wanted to direct the public to the good efforts, good conservation efforts, trying to fight against this dark prophecy that they will disappear. And arriving in Cameroon, it was very easy to see the dire consequences of this illegal trade. It was organized and it was professional, and it was not rooted in poverty, but in the rich and the powerful, as most of what you see here was ordered by high officials like ministers and colonels. And the same people who are entrusted to protect these animals, wildlife officers and police officers, were the same ones that ran the trade and were the biggest traffickers. This crate you see here was used to transport 6 baby chimps like Kita at a time, and fetching a dozen of thousands of dollars to its trafficker for each chimp. But there was a law, and that law was given a maximum of 3 years imprisonment to anybody even touching a baby chimp. So as a journalist, I was asking myself, so how many times was this law applied? How many wildlife traffickers were actually getting to jail? And the answer was 0. One big 0. 0 wildlife prosecutions, 0 traffickers behind bars. And it was a very clear indicator to a failure. But not just a failure of corrupt African governments, it was also a conservation failure. You see, most of my article this time was already written. There is a race towards extinction, there is illegal trade, there is a law but it's not applied, there is corruption,